Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus, here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is the start of the week, Monday the 27th of January 2018. Let's have a look at what's making the political headlines today. So to start off with, UKIP, they've lost their deputy leader and immigration spokesman. In fact, immigration spokesman was just this morning as well. They've resigned over protest at Henry Bolton, the current UKIP's leader, refusal to step down. Now, this is Margot Parker and John Bickley. Miss Parker saying Mr Bolton has left the party in limbo and he should go sooner rather than later. Now, what's this all about? The party's National Executive Committee, the NEC, voted yesterday for a vote of no confidence in Mr Bolton. Now, this is over racist texts sent by his former girlfriend, Jo Marnie. Bolton said he has ended the romantic element of the relationship, but will continue to support Miss Marnie in rebuilding her life. Now, Bolton's also said that despite this vote of no confidence, he will continue to remain as leader of the party. The main reasons he's saying for that is that the party cannot financially actually afford another leadership election at the moment, and also it would just finish the party in terms of its support with the general electorate. Now, where does this go next? Because obviously you've got a significant number of the National Executive Committee wanting Mr Bolton to go, but Mr Bolton insisting he's going to stay. In the next month or so, the party's members will have a vote, and they will decide whether Mr Bolton should stay or whether he should be forced to step down if he doesn't resign before that moment. Next up, UK will struggle to match Russian military. Now, this is going to be quite a hard-hitting speech at the Royal United Services Institute a little later on, which is basically saying that Britain's armed forces would struggle to match the Russian army in battle. And it's by the Britain's Defence Chief of General Staff, Sir Nick Carter. He's warning that UK is trailing Russia in terms of defence spending and capabilities. Britain will be left vulnerable if it fails to keep up with our adversaries. And Mr Parker also saying that there are serious threats are now on Europe's doorstep. Now, what is the context behind this? Politically, it's largely to do with the spending cuts that have happened in the defence departments and indeed the military over the past few years, and the fear, at least, that there will be further cuts along the way as well, which will leave Britain's capabilities at a severe risk and degrading the quality of Britain's military prowess. So there's a bit of politics around this speech, but it's going to be nonetheless hard-hitting and probably fascinating to watch or at least listen to if you can. Final story then comes, of course, from Brexit Corner. Now, Theresa May, the Prime Minister, is under enormous pressure from several different elements of the political spectrum this week, and these are going to get more and more severe for her as the days go by. First up, a gang of senior ministers led by Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson will demand the Prime Minister meets the Vote Leave pledge of £100 million a week Brexit dividend for the NHS. Remember the £350 on the side of the Brexit bus. Boris Johnson is pushing for this to be fulfilled, particularly in the context of the winter crisis, which we have seen in the NHS over Christmas and the New Year. There's a cabinet meeting tomorrow where this is supposed to come to Theresa May, or at least land on her desk. But there's also pressure from other sides. In a speech today, the CBI Director General Caroline Fairbairn would urge the Prime Minister to rethink quitting the customs union, and indeed arguing that the UK is better off not having its own independent trades policy, but in fact staying in the customs union with the EU, and that will be for the better of CBI businesses, or businesses which are represented by the CBI, which are medium and small-sized businesses. And also there's reports coming through to say that pro-Remain campaign ministers are really pushing, or softly pushing, Theresa May for a Norway-style deal to agree to make effectively financial contributions to the EU in return for some kind of trade agreement regarding financial services and indeed the service sector. That will obviously be deeply politically unpalatable for a lot of leavers, a lot of Brexiters, and indeed the reports are today that a group led by Jacob Rees-Mogg will also be pressuring the Prime Minister not to give over any more to the EU budget post-Brexit in March 2019, and particularly during this 2-year transition period we have. That's pretty much it for today. A full agenda for the week ahead. You're up to date, though. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic start to your week.